So now we're going to be making the chicken, and we're going to wash our hands first before we touch it. Now we're going to be cutting the chicken into tender sizes. I've already done 2 breasts, but what I'm using is boneless, skinless chicken breast, which you can just buy anywhere. And I'm just going to cut it into strips. It's going to be easier to cook and easier to eat with the honey mustard. So now that we have the chicken ready, we're just going to lay that to the side because, you know, our baked potato is still cooking. It's at about 28 minutes now, and we don't want to start cooking yet. So once again, I'm going to wash my hands because we just touched the chicken, and we're about to cut the broccoli. And when we cut the broccoli, we're using a completely different cutting board and knife. Because you cannot use a knife and just rinse it off and then use broccoli because salmonella will still be there. You have to actually clean it with soap. So now we're going to actually just rinse off the broccoli some. We're using fresh broccoli. And we're going to be boiling it today because I figure it'll be easier. Not a lot of us have steamers, so we're just going to boil it. So we're going to take it and rinse it. Get the little trees at the top. We have a leaf in ours, so we'll pull that off. Now we're going to start cutting it. And we're going to cut off, I call it the trunk because, you know, it looks like a tree. So first we're going to cut off the trunk so that we just have the top of the tree. And this is where also the bag comes in handy because, you know, we have this trash stuff so we can just, you know, throw it away in our bag, not have to worry about it. So now we're going to start breaking up. You can probably just break them off, the bits, but like I'll cut it again so that we can get in there, and then they'll just pretty much fall off. So, you know, you'll just break them off into like whatever size you want to eat them. You know, some people like bigger broccoli, some people like bite size. So, I mean, that one's pretty good. And we'll cut this one. Just keep, and you can just stick the knife in there and cut it if you want, or you can peel it off. It's completely up to you. But you just want to make sure you have the little trees out. And no stems. So we're going to throw this away. And then we're going to just prep our water to boil. I'm going to take, I already have my pans up. Let me just rinse my hands. We have the pan's already ready. We're going to just take, you know, a normal pan, and we're going to fill it up with water. About, I'd say, like 6 cups. I mean, you can just eyeball it and see how much you think you'll need. You don't want to have too much, but you also don't want to have too little. And then we'll just set that on the pan. So our potatoes are at about, you know, 12 minutes right now, so we're going to start cooking our broccoli first because the chicken won't take very long. The broccoli will take about 15 minutes when we boil it, but, I mean, or until it's tender. So we're going to move this over here. Now we're going to put it into the boiling pot of water. You can add a little bit of salt if you want to, or, I mean, you don't have to. You just want to slide them in there. I wouldn't like drop them right in because then you'll probably get burned. So you just fill it all in there carefully. Make sure they get it under the water. Okay. There's a lot of broccoli in it. Now we're just going to take this and rinse it off. And we're going to let those cook a little bit before we start making our chicken. So now we're going to start making the chicken. First, we want to cover our saucepan with oil. I'm just using some canola oil, like you can use whatever you want, but I would use canola or vegetable not really like olive oil because that'll add some flavor to it. So we're going to take our chicken. We're going to transport it over. We have a little juice, so I'm going to get rid of some of the juice. And I'm going to transport it right over here. And I'm going to clean my hands again because I have to turn the oven on to cook it. It's just going to be at about like medium heat. You don't want it to cook too fast and you don't want it to not cook at all. So we're going to bring it, the broccoli smells really good. We're going to bring it to about, mine it brings it to about 6 or 7. That's like medium but not high, like a little bit more than medium. So first we will take our chicken, like your tenders I call it, and we're going to dip it to cover it in the honey mustard that we made. Then we're going to dip it into the breadcrumbs to cover it. And then we place it on the saucepan. Now after you've cooked like one set of chicken, like we could probably fit about 4 or 5 on here, it's going to get a lot hotter and you're going to need to keep adding, you know, the canola oil, and you're going to want to be very careful when you put your chicken down because it'll come popping up at you. So we're just going to, you know, cover it, fill our pan, it's a little baby one, coat it in here. I'm going to coat it in breadcrumbs too. It's starting to sizzle a little bit, which is good.